Hi, boys and girls. This is a lesson about how to do workbook page 5.7. You're going to have some input-output charts, which I know you are pros at, and you're going to have to find the rule and then fill in the rest of the chart. So we've been working on multiplication and division. So your brain should tell you, I bet these are going to be multiplication or division input-output charts, since that's what our chapter has been about. So if we look at this input-output chart, you see that we start with a 3, and then we do something to it, and we end up with 12. So what could we do? Did we add, subtract, multiply, or divide? So since I gave you that big hint that we're probably going to multiply or divide, I hope you said, oh, we multiplied by 4, because 3 times 4 equals 12. So we think that's our rule, but we're going to double check. Is 5 times 4 20? Yes, it is. So we seem to be on to something. So then we have to say 8 times 4 gives us, and I hope you said 32. And then 9 times 4 is 36. And 10 times 4 is 40. All right, so there's one. And then we'll have a couple of those on your worksheet. Here's another example. And we start off with 12 and we end up with 2. So we start with a larger number, end up with a smaller number. So I hope you say, oh, I bet we're going to divide on that one. So we start off with 12 and we end up with 2. What did we divide by? I hope you said we divided by 6. 12 divided by 6 equals 2. Let's double check. 24 divided by 6 equals 4. That is true. So 36 divided by 6 is going to equal 6. And 54 divided by 6 is going to equal 9. And 72 divided by 6 is going to equal 12. All right, so let's try one more. This time, it doesn't have any lower numbers, does it? So I'm going to put in a couple of numbers on the output side. All right, so what is our rule going to be? If we start with a 7 and we end up with a 1, and we start with a 21 and we end up with a 3, what could we have done? Did we add, subtract, multiply, or divide? I hope you said, since we started with a larger number and ended up with a smaller number, we must have divided. And what did we divide by? 7 divided by what equals 1? I hope you said 7. Let's double check. 21 divided by 7 equals 3. That's true. What happens if we have 28? 28 divided by 7 gives us 4. What about 70 divided by 7? That's 10. And 84 divided by 7, what is that? That's 12. All right. You're pretty professional at those input-output charts, I know. And so they throw in something a little more challenging. So they give you an input-output chart, doesn't have anything in it, and you get to fill in the whole thing. But they give you a formula that you have to follow. And it says this: multiply A by 4 and then subtract 2. So here's what it looks like as a math problem. So you're going to put a number in there, multiply it by 4, and then subtract 2, and you're going to end up with D. Start here with A, end up with D. You get to choose the numbers you put in there. So you know me, I always like to start easy. So I'm going to put a 1 in there. And then I'm going to go down here and do my little problem. 1 times 4 is 4. Minus 2 would give me 2. And I'm going to show you, because in class I would make you do it this way. I would say, okay, 1 times 4 in parentheses, and I highly encourage you to write it out. Whoops. I highly encourage you to write it out. So 1 times 4 minus 2 equals D. And 1 times 4 here is 4. So that means that I've used this part. And whoops, I don't want to. So I've used this part. So I'm going to cross it out. And then I do the minus 2 equals D. And this is the only part I have to solve. 4 minus 2. And what is it? It is indeed 2. So I like to start off easy like that. So then we're going to choose another number, and we're going to put it up here. I like to start off easy. I start off with 1. Well, now I'm going to go for 2. So that means I'm going to have this problem now. In place of my A, I'm going to put a 2. 2 times 4 minus 2 equals D. I have to put my other parentheses in there. All right. So now I'm going to start solving it. 2 times 4, I have to do parentheses first. That gives me an 8. And then I'm going to put down the minus 2 equals D. And I did this part, so I'm going to cross it out. And 8 minus 2 is all I have to do right there. And 8 minus 2 is 6. All right, so then staying on the easy track, I'm going to put a 3 in there, and I'm going to get rid of all of this and write my new problem now. And this time I'm going to have parentheses 3 times 4 minus 2 equals D. I like to forget this, don't I? Okay. Now I have to solve this problem. 3 times 4, what is that? It is 12 minus 2 equals D. And I did this part. I'm going to cross it out. 12 minus 2 is 10. All right. So that's how you do that. And you could put a difficult number up here, a large number if you wanted to. You could put something like 30. And then you could go back to here and you could say, okay, this is going to be 30 times 4. And that means that's going to be different. So 30 times 4 would give you 120. And then you would have to do the minus 2 equals D. And then right here you would say 120 minus 2. Well, that's going to give you 128. I like to keep things simple. You can jazz it up with a little more difficulty if you want to, and that's fine. Then they're going to throw in a divided by, a division problem. So you're going to divide by 3 and add 2. Here's what the formula looks like, and they will give you this formula. So sometimes I think the directions written out for me are a little more cumbersome, so I like to see it in numbers. So if we're going to do divided by 3 plus 2, I have to remember whatever number I'm going to put in here has to be divisible by 3. So I might get out my multiplication chart and look in the 3's column and say, okay, well, gee, I could start off with 6. All right. And then I could go down here and I could put 6 in here. And 6 divided by 3 equals 2. And then I have to add this part, plus 2. And what is 2 plus 2? It is 4. All right, so I've got that much. And I'm going to get rid of that. Go back and put my A in there and say, okay, now what number can I put in there? It has to be a number that is divisible by 3. It has to be in the 3's column. So I might look down my chart and say, okay, I'm going to try 12. So put 12 up there, put 12 right here. 12 divided by 3 is 4. I've done that part. I'm going to cross that out with my pencil. I'm going to put the plus 2 in here. And what is 4 plus 2? The reason I put the plus 2 in is because it's this part. So I put it down there. 4 plus 2 is 6. All right. Then I'm going to look in my 3's column again. And I'm going to pick another number from the 3's column. This time I might pick 24. Put 24 in there. Write out my problem so it has 24 in there. What is 24 divided by 3? Have to do that part first because it's in parentheses. It's 8. I'm going to cross that out with my pencil. I'm going to write this part down here. Plus 2. And what is 8 plus 2? It's 10. So then you'll have to fill out these last two. Do it one step at a time. Cross things out as you go. That is the ticket to success.